Welcome back. My name is Lorenzo. I've been an EMT for almost a decade, and I've ran a company as operations manager for about 3 years. Welcome back to my channel where I talk about my pod model playbook. So here, today we're going to be talking about part 2 to our part 1. Part 1 was about Medicare cap, what the ceiling is, how far you can go, what's allowed. I didn't go too in depth there because that wasn't the point of it. The point of the series is to show you that there are things that most people don't talk about. There are things that people aren't aware of. So I'm using this as a way to express my experience and show you guys what I've learned and the things that catch a lot of owners off guard. Today we'll be going over video 2. Video 2 is about killing costs, maintenance, and payroll. So within this industry, the employees are expecting you to pay them very little and expect a lot out of them. I believe for you to have the best people working for you, you need to pay them well, and you need to know why you're hiring them. A lot of people in this industry, they hire people because they need somebody to be on the truck, but they don't have any vision for the employees. And if you don't have a vision for the employees, they're gonna see you as every other company. So one of the things that I've learned that gets out of control is the expenses of payroll. Because there's no consistency and there's no structure, your payroll goes up and down depending on how many hours you give, depending on how many employees you have. And sometimes if you don't really understand how much you need, you're gonna end up getting more than you need or having less. And within this industry, because there's a shortage of EMTs, you're more than likely not gonna have as much as you need. And you're probably not gonna have the type of quality that you're looking for. And one of the things that keeps an employee around is their competitive pay as well as benefits. Now, benefits aren't necessarily rewards. From my perspective, benefits are what keeps employees tenure much longer than it would naturally be if they're just coming in for a check. The benefits are depending on you, on what you're trying to do for your company and what you're trying to provide for your employees. I'm not saying I'm not trying to make it seem as if every company has to have the same type of benefits. I don't think that's realistic. Sometimes your crew may need something a little different, and it's up to you to figure out what that is. But benefits are really important. You have to look at employees like capital, because they essentially are. Not in the sense that they're objects, but in the sense that there is a longevity to them. You have to make sure that they are taken care of, that they're well maintained, and that they understand the difficulty of the job over time. And you help them understand that by structuring their workload in a very specific way. For me, what I've noticed is that 3 days in a row, 12-hour shifts can be really hard on an employee. Sometimes some of them want to push it all the way up to 6 days. 6 days, 12-hour days, just to be able to get as much money as they can. This increases their burnout. And it's really difficult to really have employees understand their life situation can also affect the job, and you have to create structure within your company, or else you'll be finding yourself trying to give out help, and in a sense you'll be shooting yourself in the foot, because you'll find that this employee gets hurt. You'll find out that they're unable to come in because they get sick, their body's worn out. You have to look at employees in the way that you look at your equipment, your vehicles. You have to make sure that they're well maintained through PTO. PTO is really important. Make sure that they paid well. Make sure they have insurance, health insurance, dental. These things are really important because it makes sure that your employees can stay with you. They can trust that you actually think ahead and you're not just thinking about the paycheck. If you don't know that, okay, within this industry that we're taking care of people, we're here to make sure that they get to where they need to safe. Every touch that we have, meaning every interaction that you have with the patient, is something that's important and should be taken seriously. And you don't get people to do those things if you're not thinking ahead when it comes to their well-being. It's a relationship. I would even say it's almost parental in a sense. People really find motivation and meaning in their jobs. And if they see that you also care, meaning that you're looking to figure out how to make sure that the job is easier for them, you're making sure you're looking at, because we're lifting patients up, by hand, you want to make sure that your crew has the equipment that's necessary to reduce back pain, because that's a big issue within our industry. And a lot of our employees are either really young individuals, male and female, or really older individuals, male and female. And one of the things that you're going to realize is, because we touch the patient so much, we interact with them on a physical matter so much, we end up destroying our bodies as we're doing this. So it's really important to know why and what your employees are doing, because that will determine how much you're willing to pay them. That also determines what you need for them, so that way their longevity or their tenure is beneficial to the company as well as them. Again, my goal in this is not to go in depth as to what you should be paying them, how you should be paying them. I'm really just going over the issues that I find that's consistent within this industry, and I'm bringing it to you and showing you through my own life experiences what I've learned and what I think will definitely help for you to pay attention to. So the same type of care that you would give to your employees is the same type of care that you have to give to the inanimate objects. And the second most important part of a non-emergency transport company is its vehicles. Now, not everyone has $100,000 somewhere, or even $10,000 just sitting around so that way you can put down for a vehicle. So a lot of the companies start off with used vehicles. And the thing about used vehicles is they come with used problems, meaning problems you don't know and hopefully you know something about. So it's always best for you to make sure that you understand the things that can go wrong when it comes to a vehicle. Just like your average vehicle that you would drive around is the same things that would happen, except on 10 times the playing field. Some of the things that you will have to worry about that goes wrong when it comes to a vehicle is the AC and the heat going out in the summer and the winter. Oil changes that has to happen a lot more quickly, a lot quicker than you would like. Coolant leaks, meaning the tubes that carry the coolant throughout the truck, not throughout the truck, but to the engine, so that way it can cool it down. It bursts sometimes. So that coolant leak is something that happens often, especially with used vehicles. If you don't change the tubing, you're gonna find yourself with tubes that's gonna probably burst at some point because of the heavy running that we do. There's also windshield wipers. They're really important. Like, it's one of those things I think that you look past or you don't really think too much about, but windshield wipers are really important, especially during the rain, hopefully not in the snow, but it can really make or break a lot of accidents, honestly. Next is tires, and tires will go out on you at 4 a.m. For some reason, they choose that time, but the night before, you would think everything is fine, you leave the trucks, everything is good, you wake up at 4 in the morning, it's 50 degrees outside or 34 degrees outside, and you have to worry about a tire. And especially if you're just starting, you really don't have an indoor bay that you can fix your vehicles, so they just kind of sit outside. You got to drag everything there to the truck. Hopefully that you have an outlet somewhere nearby that you can plug in the tire inflator, and it goes well. But it's such a hassle, man. So tires, AC, oil changes, coolants, windshield wipers, batteries. Batteries are something that's very corrosive when you get them, when you buy them from a used vehicle. You have to make sure that they're consistently charged. Some batteries are so weak. Some vehicles come with multiple batteries, and they're different. They're different levels of energy within them. And one of them dies, and now your entire truck just doesn't work for some reason, or at least only half of it comes on. This is what happens when you buy used vehicles. Headlights as well. It's terrible when you have to drive at 4 in the morning or 5 in the morning to your patient, and they live in, as my father say, behind God's back, and you don't know where the light is, and you have one side of the headlights working, the other side is dark, and you're hoping a deer doesn't decide, this is my chance to reach heaven. So to name them again: AC, oil changes, windshield wipers, coolant leaks, tires, batteries, and headlights. Your truck runs 12 hours a day, and if you get successful enough, 12 hours a day, 6 days a week. and sometimes on a Sunday, depending on whether it's the holidays or not. And the dialysis schedule moves a little different. But maintenance is not an option. Maintenance must happen either once a week or twice every 2 weeks. You figure out, depending on how you're running your company, when is the best time. But it must be checked consistently and at a shorter duration of time than an average vehicle. Now, to connect both of these, when it comes to employees and under payroll, and trucks underneath maintenance, your trucks and your employees go hand in hand. If one is out, the other one doesn't work. And if one doesn't work well, the other one will leave. I.e., if your truck's AC is out, your employees are leaving. If it's freezing at 5 a.m. in the winter and you have a flat tire, your whole schedule is now on fire. Like it's these things work hand in hand. If you don't take care of your vehicles, your crew won't take care of them. If you don't take care of your trucks, they won't take care of your crew. If you don't take care of your crew won't. It's hand in hand. There's no way you can get around this. So you must have good vehicles. You must pay your crew well, and you must pay attention to the maintenance that has to come, that has to go with them. It's a must. If you don't pay attention to this, you will find yourself having to deal with payroll and truck maintenance, and those are the two things that will literally kill your business. It's not a maybe, it will 100% kill your business. I've seen this way too many times. These two issues are why I created the Pod Model Playbook. I've learned so much from working with so many different EMTs. I've learned so much from working with so many different patients. Some who survive, some who are still alive, some who die. And you get this sense of urgency when it comes to caring for these people. You see them at their worst, and you're there to help them. This business isn't essentially about making money. It's about providing a service that's actually really meaningful. That's why I created this playbook, because I believe that there's a good way of doing this, and there's a way that the average person can get in on this, even if they're not EMTs or firefighters or someone from the corporate world who's done enough information and see where there's possible money to be made. I would like people who actually care about other people to get into this industry and have a playbook on how to make sure that not only are they making money, but they're also taking care of the crews and the equipments that they have, so that way they can provide a better service to the patients that they take care of. This entire business is ran on a relationship between the provider and the patient. So to reiterate, most people don't fail in this business because they're unable to get patients. Like, even on the bare minimum, you can just go out there and speak to somebody. If you do it 5 times a week, they're gonna give you a patient. And if they get to know you a little more, they'll keep giving you patients. People fail because they forget about the thing that's important. How you take care of your employees, how you take care of your equipment, how you provide a service. They go hand in hand. If you don't do these two things, it's almost not worth starting. If this video gave you a perspective on this industry and what really brings it down when it comes to employees and their equipment, then please subscribe. The next video is going to be called What Most Companies Do Wrong When It Comes to Scaling, or something like that. I haven't really solidified the title yet, but I just want to really emphasize how important these two parts are, because they're the backbone of your company and the backbone of this industry. So thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.